Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I've always opined on this platform that in politics, nothing happens out of mere coincidence. Everything in politics is normally well scripted, designed, and executed to achieve a specific political objective. President Uhuru Kenyatta earlier today broke the protocol. We all know that the country was actually celebrating Jamhuri Day. And there's normally the protocol, very strict one. But the president, in his own wisdom, decided to break that protocol and invited Raila Odinga to address Kenyans. And Raila Odinga did not waste time addressing Kenyans. In this video, I want to explain to you guys why the president broke that protocol. I want to be very brief. Let me ask you a question. Who is Raila Odinga in this country today? Politically, Raila Odinga is the people's president. And we have the president of the Republic of Kenya, who is President Uhuru Kenyatta. People's president is basically a kind of opposition leader. And Raila Odinga is not a member of parliament, he's not an MCA, he's not anything. Raila Odinga is just an ordinary Kenyan. But the president, of course, is different from, Raila Odinga is different from me and you. But the fact that the president can go to the extent of breaking the protocols to allow him speak means a lot. It only means one thing, that there is one thing which the president wanted to do. If, for example, I were to advise the DP next time, and I think I even said this sometimes back, it's just in order for the DP to invite Raila to speak, if the crowd is demanding, rather than bypassing, then the president coming back to give Raila Odinga the chance. In my view, that has never worked for me, and or probably maybe the deputy president fears two things: that giving Raila a platform, he can use that platform to dismantle him. But the fact is, if he gives him the microphone, then Raila Odinga will have to return the microphone to him. So which means he can have that right of reply instantly. I also tend to think that maybe the DP is seeking for sympathy, that Raila is not supposed to speak, but the president is allowing him to speak. But that's not the issue. The question which you want to answer is, what was the objective of the president breaking the protocol to allow Raila Odinga to speak? If you're watching this video for the first time, please click the subscribe button. To the subscribers, just give this particular video a thumbs up. Why do you think, in your own opinion, and I want to read before I give you mine, in your opinion, why do you think the president decided to break the protocol just to allow Raila Odinga to speak? I'm waiting for you. I just want to read those answers. Now, in my considered opinion, Uhuru wanted to do the following. Number one, the first thing which I think he wanted to do is to reaffirm his commitment to handshake. President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga entered into the handshake in March 2018. Very few people believed that this handshake was actually going to survive beyond even 1 year. So they've actually surprised Kenyans that President Uhuru Kenyatta's term is coming to an end, but the handshake is still standing. And the choice of today is also significant, because why is affirming handshake? Today marked the last Jamhuri Day celebration presided over by President Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta will not preside over another Jamhuri Day celebration. He won't. So the president just wanted to show the country that he appreciates Raila Odinga. And that's why when he began, he started that itakuwa mbaya sana if I don't mention Raila Odinga. So I think he just wanted to affirm to the entire country that the handshake is there and he appreciates it. So that's the first thing. Number two, in my view, which I also think was President Uhuru Kenyatta's objective. The president wanted Raila Odinga to talk about land grabbing. You know, in politics, all these things you see are normally well planned, scripted and executed. The Uhuru Gardens, where this event took place, that land was grabbed. That's the honest truth. It was grabbed by a senior government official. Immediately, they took over the government. So after taking over the government, I was reading that story. They didn't mention the guy, but you could tell the person they are referring to. Like you can even decide to name the person they were referring to. They were claiming that after the election immediately, there were attempts by a senior government official at that time who had just won election to grab the land. So after the handshake, Raila got to know that this guy was trying to grab this land, and he told Uhuru Kenyatta, let's make good use of that land. That land is historic. And that's why I think Uhuru Kenyatta designed the last Jamhuri Day to be celebrated in that field, so that Kenyans can be reminded about in whose hands are we safe. So when Raila Odinga spoke, he spoke of Weston Langata Primary School. That where Weston sits originally was part of Uhuru Garden, which was then given to Langata Primary School, which Weston tried to grab from. So I tend to think that Uhuru and Raila were just trying to tell you that the history of this country is important, and there's a reason why some people don't want to talk about history. So probably the president wanted Raila Odinga to mention that aspect of land grabbing. And how Raila Odinga delivered the message was also fantastic in my view, because he started by history, the way that the choice of that ground was arrived at. So basically, land grabbing. That's what Uhuru wanted Raila Odinga to talk about, and Raila did. Number three, I also tend to think that Uhuru Kenyatta was also, to some extent, trying to tell Ruto or to respond to Ruto over the accusations that Raila or the handshake stalled Jubilee project. Remember, after the handshake, this project was delivered after the handshake. So it was fully a handshake project. And Uhuru acknowledged those who participated and specifically mentioned Raila Odinga. So I tend to think that Uhuru is responding to William Ruto's claims that he did not perform in the second term. And he gave that as an example. So I think the other reason why he invited Raila Odinga was just to prove that they've been able to work with Raila Odinga and peace has prevailed. And because of that peace, they've been able to achieve a lot, including that particular stadium. Number four, in my view, this was actually an endorsement again. Raila Odinga just on Friday announced that he's going to run for the presidency of the Republic of Kenya in 2022. Remember, there were talks that Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga had the handshake, and one of the terms was that both of them were going to go home. But you could see President Uhuru Kenyatta, because if Uhuru did not agree with Raila, there was no way he was going to allow Raila Odinga to speak. But now Uhuru is here, Uhuru Kenyatta is here, talking and handing over to Raila Odinga, a man who was not supposed to speak. The nation called Kenya was glued to their TV. And you give Raila Odinga a chance, you acknowledge him, give him a chance. So basically, if you ask me, I think this was kind of an endorsement. Uhuru endorsed Raila Odinga for the presidency in 2022. And lastly, I think Uhuru Kenyatta wanted to provoke the DP so that by tomorrow we'll start reading how the DP and his allies are abusing the president for inviting Raila Odinga. That's how politics is. So in my view, I tend to think that maybe President Uhuru Kenyatta just invited Raila Odinga as a way of provoking the DP. Then the DP, in his own wisdom, is likely to respond, maybe in a bad way or in a different way. But the objective is to ultimately provoke the DP. Whether the DP has been provoked through that action is the only thing I still don't know up to now. I don't know what to think. And by the way, I attended the Raila Odinga's big day in Kasarani. I did a video, and I've seen my friend Kumekocha has criticized it, which is okay. Respectfully, it's okay to do a critic. That's why we are here, to analyze things sometimes differently from your perspective. So I want to appreciate Kumekocha for doing a good job. But the fact is, I've been in ODM, I've attended these rallies. I know when a rally is successful, when a rally is not successful. I know when people are complaining and when people are not complaining. I know Chris, because of his network, he might have a member of parliament, one or two, as a friend. He can ask that member of parliament what is currently going on in their WhatsApp group. But the truth of the matter is that the event was presidential, but it did not deliver to me some aspects. The list of speakers, I still strongly believe that if someone like Lonyangapuo can travel all the way from West Pokot, and this a guy just gave opportunity, and Kenyans love him. Kenyans there wanted him to speak. He's not given opportunity to speak. Next time you'll have another rally and you'll want him to come. You know, he might not come because the opportunity to speak might not be there. What about the members of parliament from Central Kenya? Some of these people have actually, the truth of the matter is that if you're supporting Raila Odinga, or if you are supporting Raila Odinga from Central Kenya, those times it was difficult. So most of these people risk their seats to believe in Raila Odinga. If Raila Odinga has a big day, why should you not just give them a chance or even acknowledge them? Thank you guys, and may you have a good day.